Have you ever stopped to wonder why, even when people know what they need to do, so many still remain stuck in the same place? Welcome. Today is not just another ordinary day. It's a special one. Because far beyond just practicing English, we're going to do something even more powerful. We're going to work on your personal growth, your mindset, and your future. It doesn't matter what phase of life you're in, whether you're starting from scratch, rebuilding, or chasing your next level. What we're going to talk about here might be the spark you've been waiting for, but only if you're truly ready to listen. So get ready, because by the end of this video, you'll see your life with new eyes. And the best part? You're much closer to change than you think. There comes a moment when no one else can decide for you. Not your parents, not your boss, not even luck. There's only one true turning point. When a person realizes they are the one in charge of their own journey. That doesn't mean the road will be easy, but it's the only one that truly leads to self-mastery. And the first step is simple. Stop blaming others for your current reality. Anyone who wants change needs more than just desire. They need daily discipline. It means getting out of bed when your body begs for 5 more minutes. It's trading comfort for action, even when there's no motivation at all. Many wait for a divine sign, a stroke of luck, or someone to hold their hand. But the truth is, success begins the moment you stop waiting to be rescued. And that's where mindset comes in. The way you think shapes every choice. When your mind truly understands that achieving your dream comes with a price, it starts to operate differently. Decisions become more intentional, focus sharpens, and you begin to move in alignment with your purpose. Those who act with clarity start to realize that they've always had control. They just needed the courage to grab the wheel. It's funny how the human mind gets creative when it comes to self-sabotage. I'm too old. I don't have money. I don't have time. All these phrases have one thing in common. They're crutches. These aren't real barriers. They're just comfortable justifications for staying stuck. Taking action requires effort, and effort hurts. So making excuses becomes a way to avoid discomfort. If age were the issue, Colonel Sanders wouldn't have created KFC at 65. If money were the problem, kids from poor neighborhoods wouldn't become doctors. The truth is, there's a huge difference between those who look for reasons and those who look for ways. If you really want something, you find a crack in the wall. If you'd rather stay still, you see a wall too high to climb. Every excuse you feed is another brick in the wall of failure. And that wall builds up fast. The more you say, "I can't," the further you drift from what's possible. The moment you face the hard truth that no one is coming to save you is the moment you gain real freedom. And it raises a deeper question. Isn't the real cause of failure simply not taking action? People love to say someone just got unlucky, or it wasn't meant to be. But in most cases, failure isn't a twist of fate. It's a direct result of standing still, postponing things, waiting for the right moment, hesitating when things get hard. All of it kills momentum. Sure, luck helps sometimes, but without action, even luck passes by like a train you never boarded. The truth is, people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they don't move. How many brilliant ideas died before even reaching the paper? How many promising plans were buried by fear of messing up? The lack of movement is a silent killer of dreams. While some wait for courage, others are already sweating and building. And the most interesting part? Those who seem the luckiest are usually the ones who act every day. In doubt, in discomfort, in silence. What separates success from frustration isn't talent or potential. It's rhythm and consistency. And once you realize that failing from trying is less painful than never trying at all, you start to see the value in stories of true resilience. Oprah Winfrey was rejected from television for being unfit for journalism. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Most people would have accepted the label and given up. But not them. They turned rejection into fuel, failure into a ladder, and pain into drive. There's no magic behind it, just action, discipline, and a mindset that refuses to accept defeat as permanent. These stories hit hard because they're real. They prove that failure can be repurposed into fuel for success. Oprah came back sharper. Jordan trained harder than anyone else. They fell, yes, but stood up even more determined. Every stumble became a critical chapter in their journey. And the fascinating part? None of them waited for the perfect time or relied on luck. They created their own shot. What all these stories have in common is the power of seeing something bigger than the pain. Even in their darkest moments, they held on to a crystal-clear image of who they wanted to become. That inner vision became a lighthouse through the storm. And that's exactly what separates those who make it. The ability to see the life they want, even when it's not yet visible. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture the most powerful version of yourself. Healthy, free, successful, and living with purpose. Can you see it? That's the first brick. The mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you constantly focus on a clear mental image of your future, your brain starts working as if it's already on the way. Top athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders use this technique daily. Visualization isn't wishful thinking, it's mental training. It's pre-living the victory before it happens. It's building an inner map so detailed that your actions begin to align with it. This isn't magic, it's focus and neuroscience. Those who see with clarity tend to act with precision, and when that mental image is repeated over and over, it starts shaping behavior. You wake up differently, speak differently, choose differently, because you already see yourself living that reality. But to turn that vision into something tangible, you have to fine-tune the most powerful engine you have, your daily habits. That's where the future begins to take form. What you do repeatedly, without even thinking, is what ultimately defines where you're headed. It's not the big dramatic decisions that build a life. It's the small, daily habits. Sleeping in, scrolling for hours, skipping the workout. It all seems harmless, but it's shaping your destiny. Time will pass either way. The only question is, what are you planting while it passes? The person who trades an episode of a show for 30 minutes of reading is changing. The one who swaps snoozing for a morning run is changing. Even replacing complaints with planning is transformation in motion. These tiny choices may feel insignificant, but when stacked, they build a completely different life. Success isn't an event. It's a reflection of long-term discipline. Habits are like tracks. Once you're on them, they'll always lead to the same place. So if you don't like where you're headed, it's time to switch the path. And there's a powerful motivation people often forget. Doing it for those who raised you. Because sometimes the strongest drive doesn't come from what you want, but from who you want to honor. There's a quiet force that drives people beyond their limits. Gratitude. Thinking of your parents, grandparents, or whoever sacrificed for you, even if just a little, lights something powerful inside. Every sleepless night, every meal shared, every word of advice given with a heavy heart, all of it came at a price that can never fully be repaid. But it can be honored through action. When inner motivation fades, remembering who stood by you can reignite the fire. This isn't about guilt, it's about responsibility. Many parents set aside their own dreams just so their children could have the chance to dream. Now it's your turn to give that sacrifice meaning. Settling for a mediocre life when you were given a foundation is a quiet form of disrespect. And it's not just about doing it for yourself. It's about leaving a legacy that makes every past sacrifice worth it. Because once you understand that someone else's effort was the soil where you grew, the thought of quitting loses its grip. Even more, you develop a rare emotional toughness, one that embraces discomfort. After all, real success demands real sacrifice. Success and comfort don't go hand in hand. If you want extraordinary results, You have to live in an extraordinary way. That means saying no to distractions, to invitations, and to temporary pleasures. It's staying up late to study while your friends go out. It's choosing the grind over the couch. Real sacrifice isn't glamorous, but it's necessary. It's not about showing off. It's about what you're willing to give up. Everyone wants the spotlight, but few are willing to endure the backstage. It's in the quiet, unseen effort where the real transformation happens. Those who understand this stop complaining about how hard it is and start embracing the pain as part of the process. Every no to comfort is a yes to personal growth. And when it all starts to feel too heavy, there's something crucial to remember. The path to success demands that your belief in yourself be stronger than anyone's doubt. Because criticism will come. People will mock, underestimate, or ignore you. And in those moments, only one force can carry you forward: self-confidence. At some point on your journey, you're going to hear, "You're not going to make it." It might come from family, friends, or even teachers. But other people's opinions are not your final verdict. In moments of rejection, self-confidence has to speak louder. Believing in yourself isn't arrogance. It's emotional survival. When no one else sees your potential, you must be the one who does. The greatest names in history were doubted before they were celebrated. Edison was called slow. Einstein, too weird. Even Elon Musk was mocked for talking about private rockets. But what they all had in common was an unshakable belief in themselves, a flame that kept burning, even when the world tried to snuff it out. And believing in yourself doesn't mean you'll never mess up. It means you trust yourself to keep going after you do. Because self-confidence isn't about perfection. It's about resilience. It's about looking failure in the eye and saying, "You won't stop me." And that's exactly where the real transformation begins. Failure hurts. It bruises your pride, shakes your confidence, and challenges everything you thought you knew. But it also teaches. Every fall carries a lesson that success would never reveal. Failure exposes what needs to be fixed, refined, and strengthened. Often, it's at rock bottom, where people discover a strength they never imagined. Because when there's nowhere left to fall, the only option is to rise. The problem is that most people treat failure like a final judgment. But what if it's just part of the plan? Many only find the right path after getting it wrong. Failure clears the clutter, removes what doesn't work, and forces you to rebuild. There's no real victory without a stumble, and no growth without a scar. The process shapes the person. Those who learn to embrace failure gain a strategic lens on life. They stop seeing setbacks as endings and start recognizing them as steps. That shift in mindset changes everything. But to keep that clarity when the pressure builds, you'll need something rare in today's noisy world: silence and introspection. In a world that never stops shouting, silence has become a rare luxury. But that's exactly where clarity lives. External noise confuses, distracts, and scatters your focus. Introspection, on the other hand, brings alignment. Taking just a few minutes to breathe deeply and listen to your own thoughts can be a simple yet life-changing habit. That quiet space is where direction is born. Many people get lost simply because they never pause. They run, multitask, fill every second with stimulation, and disconnect from themselves. Meditation, prayer, or even a moment of stillness can be enough to recalibrate the mind. It's not mysticism, it's mental hygiene. Those who cleanse their minds regularly make sharper decisions and act with more intention. And when this becomes a habit, something powerful happens. Your inner voice starts to shift. The harsh critic gives way to a calmer, more confident tone. And that only happens because a quiet mind becomes fertile ground for the right seeds, especially the kind planted by positive affirmations. The mind is like fertile soil. It gives life to whatever is planted there consistently. And what you say to yourself every day builds who you become. If you constantly repeat, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never make it," "I'm a failure," guess what your mind starts to believe? But when you speak with power, I am capable, I am focused, I will make it, you begin to reprogram your belief system. This isn't shallow self-help talk. It's backed by science. The brain responds to repetition. When your inner narrative is strong, determined, and focused, your behavior starts to match. Those who train their minds with positive affirmations often notice a natural rise in confidence and courage. The words you say to yourself are commands your brain listens to. But here's the catch. Saying it isn't enough. You can't just declare that you're disciplined. You have to act like it. Affirmations only work when paired with real action. That's the true secret, combining clear vision, daily repetition, and consistent effort. Because it's that combination, visualization plus action, that leads to real achievement. Visualizing what you want is only half the equation. The other half, the part that actually transforms your life, is taking action every single day, even when no one is watching. It's easy to dream about a better future. What's hard is sticking with the discipline required to build it. The real difference between dreamers and achievers lies in how they combine vision with motion. A mental plan without action is just fantasy. But a mental plan supported by discipline becomes destiny. When you visualize clearly and act decisively, your inner world begins to sync with the outer one. Everything starts aligning with that goal. Motivation may come and go, but consistency keeps the wheels turning. And that's where the impossible slowly becomes inevitable. And even though the road can feel lonely at times, it doesn't have to be. Because there's a powerful way to stay energized, focused, and on track, surrounding yourself with the right people. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And that's not just a cliché, it's reality. People can either lift you higher or quietly drag you down. Hanging around those who complain, stay stuck, or avoid growth will eventually wear off on you. And the worst part? You won't even notice it happening until your own standards start to slip. But when you're around people who strive for more, who set goals, and who challenge mediocrity, something shifts. Their mindset rubs off on you. One conversation, one piece of advice, or one honest push might be the breakthrough you needed. Your environment shapes your mentality, and your mentality shapes your destiny. And if right now you feel like you're walking this road alone, maybe it's time to make a tough but necessary choice. Cut ties that keep you anchored to the past. It's not easy, but it's freeing. Because when you're truly ready to change your life, the best time to start is now. The biggest trap your mind can fall into is believing that the perfect moment is still on its way. It's the classic, "I'll start Monday. Next year will be different." Or, "Once I have more time." But here's the truth. The perfect time doesn't exist, and it never will. All you have is now, and every minute spent waiting is one less step toward your dreams. While you delay, life keeps moving, and it won't stop for indecision. Days turn into weeks, weeks into years, and then comes the regret, the pain of not even trying. What's sad is that most people didn't lack opportunity. They lacked courage. And the twist? Those who start, even without knowing everything, usually discover they were more ready than they thought. The moment to act is today. Not after the degree, not after the dream job, not after the new year. The shift happens the second you decide to stop waiting and start moving. Because one decision, can become the turning point for your entire life. Now that you've got the insights, reflections, and strategies that could completely flip your life around, the choice is yours. Will you apply them? Will you begin? Or will you let all of this become just another video you watched and forgot? The world is full of people who want to change their lives, but very few actually commit. So, which group are you going to be in? If this message spoke to you in any way, drop a comment below. What decision are you going to make today? I want to hear from you. And of course, if you want to keep receiving content that challenges you, inspires you, and pushes you to a new level, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, and come along for this journey with us.